What's going on,
Recording in
Effective Fitness
progress.
team? How y'all doing? Coach Kelly, Coach Dane back here again, Coach's Corner here on Monday. Today we'll be jumping into, what is it? Looking at the week of training, maybe going into next week a little bit if we got time, talking about an article we've got released this week. But yeah, just kind of setting the tone for the week. Kelly, what's new? What's new in your life?
Ooh, you know what else I want to do? Show you guys our hoodies.
Ooh, you mean
We got
like
hoodies in. It is just like that one. Where's your string? Where's yours? Did it come out?
Yeah, and I don't like strings, so
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
I end
you're
up
one of them.
spitting my toothpaste all over it, or whatever. And I don't walk around with that thing tightened up like a wrestler anymore. Like back in the day when I was trying to lose weight.
Right.
So,
Man, I like the strings though. They look good because they're white.
Yeah.
Let's just show them. All right, hang on.
All right, yeah, let's do that. All right, guys, if you all are just jumping on Coach's Corner here, go ahead and let us know that you're here in the comments. Of course, we will answer any questions. If you've got them, please drop them there. This is a great way to get instant feedback from coaches. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and type replay into the comments so that we know that you're watching. And I'm super excited about today to just kind of dive into a little bit of training. Obviously, we're going to talk about some hoodies here in just a second, and then getting into an article release this week. So, Kelly, what do we got for
hoodies?
Yeah.
Hoodies first? Yeah, let's talk about it. All right. We've got 2 hoodies that are going to be released very soon. End of the month, I think, is when we'll be ready to drop them.
Yeah, roughly. Yep, right around then.
Yep. So we got this gray one. These are the bombs. They're thin. They're the Bella canvas. They're really super soft on the inside. It's got the new the Combatives logo or the EFT logo, and then on the sleeve is this EFT flag.
Nice.
Can you see the EFT?
Yeah, it's EFT.
Yeah, cool. So we've got 2 options. We've got this gray one with black print, and then the other one is solid black with a black logo. But as you can see, as I was saying, is the strings are white, which is like good contrast. These are the bomb.
There you go.
And they're super soft.
See the logo.
Very comfortable. Could you not see it?
Yeah, there you go. It's just so, black on black. Yeah, incognito a little
black
bit.
on black. That's Adam's thing. He loves the black on black.
Jay just jumped in, says, let's fucking go.
Jay Wadsworth?
Kelly's got his videos en route tonight, and also he's wearing his black hoodie right now. So I got my gray one on. If you can see it, looks pretty good. It fits. Just dropped my mic. So it fits pretty true to form. I mean, medium's a medium, large is a large. I typically wear a medium in shirts and stuff, and I went with a medium sweatshirt, and I've washed it a couple times and it fits still. So I'm super happy to have that.
And the cool part about these is they're pretty warm, but at the same time, they're like pretty lightweight. So we got this specific material just because you can wear them to train. Once you get hot, I mean, they're all right to wear like for winter training for sure. Like I've been wearing it in the garage and I'm comfortable. Doesn't restrict my mobility at all. I can move around. It's super soft and stretchy. So I'm a big fan. I'm excited to get these out to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. We always say there's no excuse for training, right? It gets cold out in some places, not too much here in Charleston, but it has been below freezing here this week. And I don't know, it's just not an excuse to not train. Situationally, on the job, occupationally, you're not going to be able to decide when you've got to, encounter the elements. So training should be no different. If it calls for sprinting, it's probably not the best time to sprint the first time on ice or snow. If that's part of your job, you don't want it to be the first time on the job when it counts. So just kind of understanding, getting your feet about you and understanding how to handle yourself on the snow and ice or in the cold when not optimal conditions, a super important training aspect.
Agree. Totally.
Again, we're going to jump in here and talk about training, look at the week of training, kind of review the app a little bit while we go along with that. And then we'll talk about an article that we released this week and go into depth about that topic just a little bit. And again, hit us with your questions in the comments. We'll answer them right away, and then drop a replay in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and type that in there. Let us know. So what do we got on the docket this week, Kelly, for training? I'm going to go ahead and pull up the app just so everybody can see it. But, what's the focus this week?
Yeah.
What are we looking at next week? What are we leading up to?
Yeah. So this is today, Monday, started block 2 of this cycle. So we are starting, this one was a triphasic strength cycle. So we did eccentric work, and now we are in isometric, and then we will focus on concentric for the last 3 weeks before a week of testing. So this is the beginning. This is week 4. So it's the beginning of block 2. As you can see today, deadlifts on Monday. So we got 5 sets of 3, and I believe it's a 3-second pause just under the knee. Is that right, Dane? Did you do it today?
Yeah, so we're looking
3
at
seconds.
complete 5-second. Yep. 3-second pause. So real quick, let's just talk about that triphasic a little bit. You said concentric, eccentric, and pausing. Are those the 3 phases, and what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so triphasic is just exactly that. It's those three different phases. So we started with eccentric, and the reason I like this is like there's the science behind it is a little about it, but it's like for me, I like to just vary what we're doing, and it's really, really nice to change it up and get a little bit different stimulus. So the first block, the first 3 weeks was eccentric. So that's a really, really slow lowering. So that's like the down portion of the squat, the down portion of the deadlift, and then the lowering to your chest of the bench press. So those are the 3 main lifts that we're working on. And what I did was, as time goes on, and this is just a one form of progressive overload, is like somehow making it more challenging each week. So what I did was increase that time under tension. So your eccentric time went down or up as the weeks went on. And then the same thing is for this. So we're starting at a 3-second pause just below the knee. That will be a 4-second pause next week, and a 5-second pause on that week 3.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I guess what was the main reason for the pause? What adaptation or training wise, what are we looking to accomplish with the pause, and why is that important?
Yeah, so I just posted a video. If you guys follow us on Instagram, make sure you check the story, because I just posted a video with some points of performance. I'll go over them right now too. But I posted a video of me doing this lift. It's the exact same thing that you guys are doing. I did it before you. I like to test it before I roll it out. So check it out if you want to see a video. I can also post it in the group after this. But the whole idea of the isometric is to pull just below the knees. That position is extremely uncomfortable and challenging to hold. So I made a note here. If you guys are concerned about like percentages, this should not be like a 1 rep max. It should not be your max weight. Definitely not. It really should be probably between 70 and 80% of your max. So if you're aware of that, use that number. That's a really good guideline to start. If you don't know your 1 rep max, you can just start with challenging but doable. So you should be able to hold that isometric position just below the knee. You're going to have a ton of tension in your posterior chain. So your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, all the way down the back side of you is going to be like really lit. And that is the point of it, is you should be able to hold that strong position right below the knee. Then you are focusing on that hip extension. So squeezing your glutes, standing up nice and tall.
Yeah, that's great. And pausing in these positions too is helping to build strength within that position as well. So, we talk about low back strength and we talk about low back pain. This is going to fire up your low back. So I just want to caution people, not from an injury standpoint. I think at those loads, and if you've been lifting weights, like, you don't really have to worry about injuring your back lifting weights. I think what's more important is to understand that holding this position is going to put a ton of strain on that posterior chain. You are going to feel holding that position by the end of each set. You're going to almost feel like your back muscles are getting bigger and more pumped as you go along. And unfortunately, with back pumps, much like a bicep pump, it's uncomfortable. But then we automatically associate it with back pain, right? And that's not back pain. That's back discomfort. It's back pump. That's really what we're chasing. And by doing this over and over again and being in these positions over and over again, all of a sudden that's going to diminish. You're going to get better at it. Wearing your duty belt or wearing your kit is going to bother you less over time if you're training in these methods. So that's just kind of another reason behind the aspect. Know that you're going to get that low back pump out of these movements, and that's okay. Expect it. It should go away within 48 to 72 hours, and you'll be ready to train again deadlifts next week.
Totally. Yeah. The whole point of that is to build tolerance capacity in that position. And like our low backs that's kind of a weak point in a lot of us. And holding that position with that weight, where it is with the deadlift, it is really, really challenging. And that's why I'm saying, like, you should really be focused on your posterior chain as you're bent over, because it can also bring like so much awareness to, is my low back super, super rounded? Or is a lot of the tension in my glutes and my hamstrings? Because that's really where it should be. Your whole posterior chain is going to be lit up and working its ass off, literally its ass off.
Right.
But you can be way more aware of, is my back holding this load, or am I, distributing this load equally among my whole posterior chain?
Absolutely. So let's look at deadlifts. How do we approach the accessory work? This week or today, we've got specifically half kneeling, single arm press. I love the half kneeling situation. It's just into that, lunge position, holding that statically, and then pressing single arm overhead. Whatever leg is out in front of you, it's going to be the opposite arm pressing up overhead. So just watch the video for cues. Single leg work is just another thing that's an absolute must. Single arm work is an absolute must, which is why we focus on unilateral work. Anything there to add, Kelly?
Nope. Single arm and single leg is a really main focus here in our program. I do think I want to note, like, obviously the deadlift is the main lift. Pretty much every single day you'll have some type of warm up, and then there's one huge compound lift that should be very, very challenging. And if we're talking about like rate of perceived exertion, like RPE, it should be very challenging. That should be the heaviest lift of the day. So the accessory work that follows that can be a little bit lighter. It should be challenging but doable. That's how I like to describe it. Right. But it doesn't need to be a 9 out of 10 in effort exerted. It can be more of like a 7 or 8.
Got it. So the deadlift might be that 9 or 8, out of 10 effort. And then when you get into that next exercise, really this one's more about building volume and kind of getting a pump. So you want it to be challenging, 7 to 8 out of 10 effort, but you want to be able to get through all the reps. Right? You should never be failing on these sets. But you shouldn't be able to breeze through them without losing your breath either. Yeah,
challenging but doable. It's always worked in my brain. Like, it needs to be hard, but you need to be able to get through the set. You shouldn't have to break it up or not be able to complete the reps, or your form shouldn't be breaking down. Yeah.
And this exercise isn't the greatest example of this, point, but whenever we have an exercise, when we're logging this, if it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, just enter in the single item weight. So you're only going to be using one dumbbell here anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anytime you've got dumbbells or kettlebells, if I'm using 20-pound dumbbells, I'm going to go ahead and put 20 in here, not 40. I don't want to use the total of the weight I used. I want to use the actual dumbbell. And that just keeps it simple. It identifies that that's the load that I used for one of those implements. And then it really allows me to come back next week or next month or whenever this exercise is done again, and either grab the same dumbbell or just increase by 2.5 to 5 pounds, depending on how yours are broken up. And we get that question a lot. So it's just something to be aware of. It doesn't really matter, but keeping it consistent, it can affect the leaderboard, and how people stack up against one another. And if that's important to you, then I think you can understand why you'd want an accurate depiction of what the weight was that you use. So just keep that in mind. Single dumbbell or kettlebell weights when called for. Trunk strength. Looking at trunk strength circuit. How do we approach the circuits, Kelly?
Man, you see that description right under the 20-minute grind right there? I want people to focus on that. I paste that same kind of description in every single trunk strength, but it seems like some people are still going all out on this. And again, this is accessory work. And this is also what a grind is it's a longer period of time. It's circuit style. So typically you'll see 3 to 5 exercises in there. This is all accessory work for the trunk or the midsection, which is not just your core. So you're not just going to see sit-ups like for abdominals, right? It's your trunk is, this is kind of funny, but I say anything from your knees to your nipples. And that's so true because I mean, all of that matters in there. So this can be your glutes, your low back, your abs, everything in between. So you're going to see a lot of single leg stuff, a lot of core work, heavy carries, just because that's full body. But the way we approach this, see the suggested weights there too. That's really important. The idea is to get in a lot of rounds and a lot of really clean reps. So it's not as heavy as you can go. This should be very, very aerobic. So your heart rate should be, I mean, we can use an equation, but really it should be under 150 throughout the entire circuit. This isn't like a conditioning piece. It's more of an aerobic conditioning piece, which is entirely different. It is not max effort. It is more focused on quality reps and getting a lot of rounds in.
Exactly. And that's a great approach, right? Like you should leave it all on the table when we're talking about these, you know, this main lift of the day. And then the rest of it is about getting in additional work. And that's your conditioning piece. And quality is always better than either quantity or even intensity. Intensity comes with training age. The longer you train, the more, you know, I guess, you know, the more, committed you are to the program. Like over time, the intensity is going to naturally ramp up, and that's going to be based off your ability. And the same thing with your weights. It's suggested 15 to 25 pounds, but if that's above where you are today, then go with 5 pounds, go with 0 pounds. If the movement you can do with body weight. And the same is true with the advanced. Like obviously, if you're at the top of the leaderboard every week and every exercise that you do, if you are 6'2", 240 pounds, maybe the 53-pound kettlebell or dumbbell is going to be not enough. Like it's all about that perceived effort. It's all about kind of that grind pace, keeping that heart rate where you want it, and doing the full send on the, you know, on the earlier main lift portion of things. Anything else to add there, Kelly?
No, I agree with that. I mean, I've trained a lot of really, really big dudes, really strong dudes, and 53 pounds is really on the high end for trunk strength grinds, to be completely honest.
Right.
If you are doing more than that, then something is a little off, I think, and you're maybe not doing the reps as good or as clean as they should be. You're not focusing, like these take time too. They should be slow, aerobic, just a steady grind for 20 minutes. So
right,
yeah, that's all I have there.
Yeah, and just noticing it even says like getting as low as possible, like working through a full range of motion. Remember, when we lift weights, if we lift through that full range of motion, we're actually stretching at the same time that we are, you know, working on our strength. So it's another reason to dial back the weights, make sure that you can go through a full range of motion with every exercise, because that's going to help you stay injury free when it comes to the real world activities that we've got to perform on a regular basis. So and then of course you got the cool down. I don't think we have to talk too much about that. Any points of you know, emphasis on cool downs in general, Kelly?
Not really. I mean, this shouldn't take a lot of time. The warm up and the cool down is essentially, I mean, that's exactly what it is, but it should take 5 to 10 minutes. I know a lot of people skip over this, but it is really, really helpful. A lot of the cool down stuff is mobility stuff too, which is extremely important if you're a cop. So, and it's just, you should be a little bit down regulated, like you're elevated throughout that whole session, right? And before you leave the gym, we really, really want you to take 5 minutes just to cool down, relax, get your shit together, and then get on with your day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and in terms of time, like again, I like to think always about priority, right? If my priority is to lift weights and or run, depending on what the situation is, I'm going to get in and do the work. I might not have time to do my recovery. And that's okay. Maybe I can do it tonight when I get home before bed, or, you know, maybe I just pass it up today. Or, you know, if I know that I'm feeling beat up, it's okay to skip the workout and just do the warm up and the cool down. Like just use it as a way to down regulate that central nervous system, you know, find a way to relax, get ready for bed, calm down from a tough day at work. It's a great add-in. And so, you don't have to be so hard and fast about doing it every workout. It's meant to be there to help you if you've got time. And, it's ideal if you can do it every workout, but time is going to dictate, and so is stress. So that's okay. Looking at tomorrow, close grip barbell bench press. Man, one of my favorites. I love close grip bench press.
I love it too.
Like triceps just get rocked.
Yep. And that's the same thing. That's got the pause in the bottom. The main point with that one, I just want to note that you guys should not be resting the bar on your chest. Oh, there's a good video of Dane with the demo there. When you bring that down and you're pausing, there should be tension in your chest. Like it should be just lightly touching your chest. That's it. Don't rest that bar. That's not the point of it.
Right. Yeah, 100%. That's just resting, working out your intercostal muscles in your chest as opposed to working out the actual muscles that we're concerned about. Yeah, that's great. I love it. When I'm looking at that close grip, I'm typically like, somewhere where my thumbs are touching or just outside of that width is typically how I'm coming down. When I come down, I'm going to try to come down, keeping those hands as close to my chest as possible. So that's kind of the width that I'm going to go with. One point of emphasis here is I just want to touch on, because I think it's important, is if you don't have barbells, right? Like I get it. You want to switch to a different movement or, something to that effect. Something's not feeling right today. So maybe you just want to do single arm bench press. All you have to do to adjust the workout for the day is when you pull up the movement, I don't want to do close grip bench press. I hit the 3 little dots up here in the corner, and it's going to come up and I can swap the exercise. So I can hit the swap button, and then I can go ahead and search for, bench, and I can look for, a single arm. Look, there's a single arm incline. I can find another option, and it's great because, we don't dictate 100%. Like everybody's got something else going on. Everybody's got different equipment available. You can absolutely choose what exercise you wanted to replace. You can also find your history in here. And that's nice if you're looking back for, specific movements or whatever. Doesn't look like I've logged this particular workout yet. But had I have logged that on this profile, it would show up there. And that's just a great way to not only look back at your previous training to make sure you're on track, and then also swap exercises if one doesn't fit your needs for the day. So that's going to be our max effort lift, or like, our go all out, not max effort, but that should be our main lift of the day. That's where the focus is. And then we've got 2 accessory pieces here with the seesaw rows and the farmer's walk. Any points there to cover, Kelly?
Nope. But just like you said, that's accessory work. So your effort should be a little bit lower than that close grip bench press. It should be as heavy as you can do for the amount of reps prescribed. And that farmer's walk too, 50 yards is a long way. So, I mean, you have an option if you want to do like really, really heavy, you can go 25 out, 25 back. I think that's okay. But the idea is to get your grip working for 50 yards, something heavy, but doable.
Absolutely. 2 of my favorite, seesaw rows. I really like. I think I might call those gorilla rows. I'm not sure.
Nope, gorilla's on the ground.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Gorilla's like a dead stop row. Seesaw row is not. So you're as one goes up, the other goes down. So it looks like this.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. So a little different.
But still some of that unilateral work, pulling. I love that. And then farmer's carries, let's just be honest, like grip strength wise, just being a all around athlete and, no more applicable to what we do, what you guys do on a daily basis. Farmer's carries are just straight money. Core exercise, back exercise, you name it, it's great for it. And then we've got a 7-minute EMOM.
I loved this one. I actually put this in here because I did it and it was one of my favorite workouts that I actually repeat every so often. So for 7 minutes, if you guys aren't familiar with EMOM, it just means every minute on the minute. So the idea is to complete whatever exercises are given there. So you'll start a running clock, And at 0, 0, 0, you're going to complete max pull-ups, so as many reps as you can do, and then right into 5 explosive burpees. You're going to do that as fast as you can so that you can rest the remainder of that minute, because at 1, 0, 0, you're going to do the same thing over again, and you do that for 7 minutes.
Beautiful, nicely designed, simple, not easy. I think that's the other thing that gets lost in training a lot of the times is, man, it's not always sexy. Getting better in the gym is about putting the work in the gym, doing, you know, the very common exercises uncommonly well, like just developing the capacity to do those exercises over time. It's the same with running. It's the same with jujitsu. Like, you've just got to put in the work. It isn't about all the sexy, fancy things that are happening. It's, can I squat? Can I deadlift? Can I push? Can I pull? Can I do it with one arm or one leg? And can I, you know, look good doing it? That's all important. Like, you know, and that's built over time. So just keep putting in the work. It'll come. Looking,
Totally
you know, we got Wednesdays as our Combatives day. So we've got a Combatives video in here with some, you know, bear crawling and different instruction, a recovery circuit. So again, helping with down regulation, just getting moving after sitting in the patrol vehicle all day. It's a great way to just kind of get some added movement in and keep the body from feeling too sore. So make sure you're not, you know, not sleeping on Wednesdays, right? Like, Wednesdays are definitely a day that you can utilize to train some of those other aspects that maybe you're not working on every week.
Totally. A big focus there is mobility too, which I know a lot of you guys want more of that. So there it is on Wednesday. Don't be skipping over that circuit. Very important. And then the instructionals from Jay, obviously, it's much needed and people love it. People have been loving that stuff. So
yeah,
it's necessary.
Necessary. All right. Thursday, before we get into the actual training on Thursday, it's a squat day. I wanted to highlight, you know, you got the 2 dots up here on your effective fitness program calendar. Those 2 dots correlate to, we've got the effective fitness squat program for the day. And then if we scroll down, we've got a second program that says minimalist workout of the day. So this is those people that have garage gyms or very little equipment. Maybe they're working inside their living room or in their basement. It's still going to be the same intention. Kelly, what do we got to say here with the minimalist workouts?
Yeah, so this one is good for anybody who is, like you said, if they're at home and they have just a set of dumbbells or kettlebells. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're in a hotel gym. Maybe you have no equipment at all. All of this is where you would find in the minimalist program. So, I mean, if you scroll down a little bit, the whole point, the way I write this is like, I look at the normal exercise for the EFT program, and I find something similar with this similar stimulus, same movement pattern, but minimal equipment or no equipment. So again, if you click on your goblet squats, if you're looking for just the body weight option, because you have 0 equipment, you got to go inside here and see right up there at the bottom, it says no equipment. You'll do air squats instead of goblet squats.
Right.
So there's a no equipment option in every single exercise. It's just at the bottom there.
Exactly. And the reason we do that is so we don't have 15 programs for people to log into.
Right.
You know, it's very simple to just, okay, it's squat day for the effective fitness program, right? It tells you right there. I can see that it's back squats. Okay, well, I don't have a gym available today. I'm on the road. So I'm just going to scroll down into where it says minimal workout of the day. And then I scroll down and it says goblet squat. Well, I'm in a hotel room. I don't even have a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Well, here you go. You've got air squats, right? No equipment needed. It's still pausing. It's still getting movement in. If you're traveling, if you're in a hotel room, or if you're locked inside because it's 20 below out, it isn't about maxing out for the day anyway. It's about getting moving and getting in your reps for the day. You can always show up at the gym next week or whenever and utilize the equipment. So just, you know, click on each one of them. Plate overhead lunge doesn't have it, but guess what? There's a prisoner lunge instead. You know, it's got to be all-time cop favorite movement, right?
Hands behind your head.
That's right. Okay, so we've got squats, looking at back squats, heavy, same kind of thing. We're pausing for the day. 4 sets of 5 with a 2-second pause in the bottom. Just like Kelly said before with the bench press, we are not relaxing in the bottom of this hole. It isn't letting the weight push you down and then just, crumbling like a wet noodle. Like, we want to make sure that we are maintaining tension and maintaining muscle engagement in the bottom of that squat hole.
Yep. Yeah, you got to own that position too. And it's the same with the eccentric. Yeah, I love that. Own the position, because you have no choice in the bottom of that squat. And if it is too heavy, you're going to know, because when you're in the bottom, you can't hold that. And it's either going to tip you forward, you're going to drop it behind you, or you're going to sit all the way in the bottom of that squat because you can't hold right at parallel or at 90 degrees, so it'll let you know if it's too heavy. And if it is, lighten the weight.
Absolutely. We got plate overhead walking lunge. Very challenging movement. It's going to challenge your mobility more than anything. So, you're not going to be able to max out this exercise. Like, it's going to challenge your mobility long before it challenges your pure strength. So look at focusing on hitting good positions, keeping those arms locked out overhead, trying not to get lazy with the arms and letting them bend. Don't rest the weight on your head. And again, if it's too much, then let's focus on just doing the regular old lunges.
Yep.
Good. Anything to say about the circuit this Thursday?
I did want to point out, anything that you see that is for time, that means go all out. That is a max effort for time. You're trying to complete that as fast as possible. And typically, if there's a for time, there will be a leaderboard. You guys can compete with each other, which is really nice. You can also just kind of see where you stand compared to all the other athletes on the program, which is also really nice. But anything for time, it's really max effort. As long as your form is good, form always comes first, but then you're going fast. The idea is fast. So it may not be as heavy, it's not as heavy as you can go. And that's why I give you the suggested weights there.
When it's for time, it's kind of, it's not the same as before, where it was that grind pace that we talked about earlier, right? We want to up the level of intensity. We want to be able to keep moving throughout this. We don't want to have to take a bunch of rest breaks, right? If you're having to like bend over and catch your breath and gasp or lay on the floor between sets, like that means it's either too heavy or you're going too fast. Like you want to be able to complete this workout with a minimal amount of rest possible, but with a maximum amount of effort, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go as hard as I can go without having to take increased rest breaks. And that's going to allow me to get this thing done as quickly as possible. So you're going to have to choose the weight accordingly. And if you find yourself, stumped in the middle of it, where you're having to set the weight down and take a bunch of pauses, go ahead and choose a different weight in the middle of the workout. It's okay. Like, the stimulus of the workout, the desired stimulus is higher intensity. So if we're having to set the weight down and rest, our intensity is kind of dropping off.
Yep.
Perfect. Then we go into Flex Friday, everybody's favorite. Fridays are pretty simple. Change the workouts as needed or change the exercises as needed. But what's the intention of Flex Friday, Kelly?
Getting a pump.
Right.
It's a lot of people's favorite day.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's higher reps. The whole point is like hypertrophy or getting a pump. So you want your muscles to grow. You want to feel, oh no, dogs. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Kelly's got the dogs. Somebody just broke through the front door. So guard duty is happening. But yeah, Flex Friday is just about getting a pump, right? We made it to Friday. We put in some other work. We're probably feeling a little bit sore. And now it's just about getting some extra work in, getting a nice pump, making that t-shirt feel tight, making that uniform feel tight, and just looking good. So hit it, go light, and not necessarily light, but go in a doable weight for your abilities, and just get all the reps done. And it's those additional reps over time that are going to add up and start to increase the size of your muscles, right? That's where you're going to see that growth and that hypertrophy. Kelly's still under barking dog duty.
Someone knocked on the door, so they are not happy.
Yeah.
No,
Good.
I think we're all right.
And then you've got Tactical Saturday, which happens every Saturday. It's there every week, different workout. And this is not only, it's super applicable to cops, but it's also about paying homage to all the, other people in the career field, those that have been lost within the career field. It's just a way for us to kind of band together as a community, get some work done together, make it tactical in nature so that we are hitting some training points within the profession and, just becoming a more effective, not only fitness, but within policing. Anything to add there, Kelly? Tactical Saturdays?
No, that hits it definitely. The one thing, this is week 4 of our program, so this is a little bit of a deload. We changed gears, and obviously, like, the pauses are a short period of time. There is no agility work here on this one, but typically you'll see some type of agility work before your circuit. So you'll see a warm up, agility, or sprints or something like that, and then your circuit, and then your cool down. But this week you don't. We're just trying to lighten the volume just a little bit.
Exactly. And it's got that tactical drill in there, donning and doffing the tourniquet after the farmer's carry. So, basically just you're going to apply it to one upper extremity. And then after the second round, you're going to apply it to a lower extremity. And then once you've applied that, you're going to go ahead and take it off and then finish with that 400-meter run or row. So it's just that drill gets you to apply that tourniquet with elevated heart rate. There's other drills that we do from time to time, and we'll continue to add them in. And if you've got ideas for drills that you want to see within Tactical Saturday, please send them our way and we will absolutely utilize them. Great. So that covers the week in training. Sunday is about recovery, active recovery. Get out there, play with your kids, play with your spouse, find a new, activity, go train jujitsu. It's a great way to just recovery, but it should be active recovery, right? Sitting on the couch, eating ice cream and, cramming burgers is okay once a month or, whatever when it comes to recovery, but we want our recovery to be active and we want to keep moving throughout the week. So.
Yeah. Take a walk, go hiking, play with your dogs, play with your kids, just stay moving.
Yeah. I hope that was helpful in terms of, going through the exercises for this week. I don't think we're going to be on here, going through every exercise every week, but we want to make sure that we're giving you all the tools to swap exercises, understand the intent of the workouts, come up with other ways, finding out those minimalist workouts. So from time to time, we'll definitely review. I want to have discussions around our training. So if you've got questions about why we do things or how to do them, please send them to us. You can hit up Coach Kelly at coach@effective.fitness or, myself at admin@effective.fitness. And, we'll definitely answer your questions and maybe we'll even tackle one of those topics here online. Before we go, obviously, if you watch this on a replay, go ahead and comment replay in the comments. But one last thing, Kelly put together a badass article. What's that article, Kelly, and where can we find it?
The importance of grip strength for law enforcement. So this is on the website under articles. If you go to effective.fitness, you just click articles in the top right corner, I believe. And it should be that first article there because it's the most recent one. It's also on Instagram. We shared it. I will share it in an actual post tonight. I will also put it in the group here when we're done with this conversation.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is it's 4. I think I have 4 main reasons that the law enforcement professional should be training their grip strength. I want you guys to read it, so I'm not going to give you too many details. But it goes in depth about so not just, obviously we need our hands to be able to drag, pull, lift things, all that kind of stuff. You need it for shooting, and then grappling, jujitsu, any sort of hands-on encounters. And then the last one is like really important because it's just the relationship between your grip strength and your health and how long you live. And so I went through a lot of research for this, and it was really, really cool to pull some stats out of these articles. And they're pretty shocking, honestly, if you read them. So get in there and read it. I'm not going to say anything else about it.
Absolutely. And, you know, just be on the lookout. We might have a grip strength program coming out here in the next couple of days as well to go along with it. So read up on grip strength, why it's important for LEOs, and prepare for, you know, if it's a concern of yours, go ahead and watch out for that grip strength program to be coming out later on this week. So appreciate everybody's time. Kelly, any last parting words for the team?
I'm good. If you guys have questions, you know how to get a hold of us. There's
All right.
a million ways.
That's it. It's time to go
Have a good
train.
week.
So let's
Let's
go fucking
crush it.
train.
All right. See you guys.
Awesome. See you, Kelly.